I think this is like the most Wes Anderson shirt I have in my drawer. Hi everyone, it's Josh, and today we're going to talk about Asteroid City. This film was written and directed by Wes Anderson. It features all the things you may love or hate about his style. Beautiful pastel color schemes, his diorama-like set design, the precise and monotone performances. If you're looking for a film that has a very unique voice and tone, then I can probably recommend this film on that basis alone. This is the type of experience you're only going to get from Wes Anderson. Even though I don't think this film works super well as a comedy, there are a few very funny moments that I found myself laughing pretty loudly at, and it does check a lot of boxes for fans of Wes Anderson. I think this movie is going to be well received by a good amount of his people. My praise kind of starts and ends there though. I didn't like this film that much, which is weird because it's not super different from other films of his that I've liked, including the Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom. I kinda wonder if my feelings would change if I watched it a second time, which would allow me to focus on what the point of the film is instead of trying to figure out how all the different layers of this thing connects together. The plot is split into two parts. One is a televised production of Asteroid City in black and white with a 4:3 aspect ratio, and the other is the actual events of the play, which is seen in widescreen with color. This isn't the first time Wes Anderson has played with the structure of a story in this way. He did something similar with The French Dispatch, which is structured like the magazine it's based off of. The film is very meta and calls attention to what it's doing with the story very often. I think this type of narrative structure is meant to point out how art doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's very connected to the person making said art. An idea that I think is important, especially when you think about the fear of AI and how studios may use something like ChatGPT to replace script writers. But in the case of Asteroid City, the meta commentary doesn't necessarily connect me to it. My big issue with this film and Wes Anderson in general is that sometimes I think his sensibilities tend to run wild to the point that it feels like I'm not really even watching a film. I'm just listening to him recite a long monotone novel to himself with pretty accompaniment visuals. He does amazing work, and I can admire what he does as a filmmaker, but there's an inherent disconnect with his films for me sometimes because of how emotionally distant they are. For some people that might not be a problem. I can see a lot of people going into this just wanting a unique vision with a very specific tone, but it's difficult for me to care about a film when the tone is not connecting with me emotionally and I'm not really interested in what the characters are trying to accomplish. It's even harder if I can't figure out what they're even trying to accomplish. A task that can be sometimes difficult in his films when characters talk so fast and so precisely about the details of random shit that I cannot keep up with. Like I said a moment ago, some things might get cleared up if I watched it a second time, but it's kind of a hard sell to have me sit through this a second time when you consider how sullen the pacing is. Maybe it's because there's not a lot of music or those obnoxious title cards that show up often, but God, I felt every single last minute of that 1 hour and 44 minute runtime. I think when it comes to his films, for me, there's a thin line between a fun Wes Anderson film that I can sit through and really enjoy and just a Wes Anderson procedural. I'm gonna give Asteroid City a 2.5 out of 5. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can know when I drop the next video, and leave a like if you like what you see. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I hate you. Thanks again, guys. I will see you next time.